Go ahead, Randy.
Matt, I don't know what Jyrell's injury situation is, but I guess you can start there. But also along with that, how do you get the offense, get the rushing game going, and the offense also?
Well, first of all, with Jyrell, I got dinged up. Obviously, wasn't 100%. Went in and was able to do some pass protection things towards after that injury, but the ability to run the football just couldn't do it after that. I think those things are things we're going to have to continue to pound away at. We thought we had a really good plan coming in. Obviously, the inconsistency of that plan continues to show up, and man, I'm equally a part of that as anybody. So, I don't feel like we're totally off kilter. It's just our inconsistencies, and man, we have to be right on right now to be consistent, and we're not. There's inconsistencies in some of the things that are going on. I think I'll have a better answer for that on Tuesday as we meet, but it's not good enough, obviously, and it showed up again tonight.
When you say the inconsistency of the plan, what do you mean?
Well, more inconsistency, I think of the whole operation. We've got some false starts again in some critical moments. You've got, just young players playing that are playing inconsistent at times. And, I think all those things coming together, create a inconsistent offense. And I think that's what we're seeing. You still see the A players making some A plays, but man, we're not as consistent as we need to be to win football games right now.
Do you feel like they're a ways away from being where you want them to be?
I don't, and I really haven't the last couple of weeks. I think Randy makes a great point in terms of we're inconsistent in the running game. I think this is the third week in a row that we've lost the rushing battle in the football game. It's a situation for us where putting that whole thing together is going to be critical for our success. And right now, we get in a flow and then we get out of a flow, and it's the word is inconsistency, and it's not good enough right now.
I think over the last 2 weeks, X has been targeted 35 times. I don't know if anybody else is more than maybe 15. I mean, do you feel like there needs to be a way to find more balance there? Just because, obviously people are putting a lot of attention towards him.
Yeah, and they are, and what I would say is, he's putting himself and putting us in position to make big plays too. So, we have great faith in the Seans and the Jalen's and Dimitri's. It's not a matter of a one-man show out there, but, I think, again, a bigger piece of it is the consistency of a running game right now with the ability to open up everything for everybody else. And, so I think, you bring a good point, but I still think that you want the ball in your best player's hands, and we got to find ways to put the ball in our best player's hands, and we are doing that. So I think from that standpoint of it, we're always going to continue to find ways to put the ball in his hands.
Man, you win the turnover battle, hold a good offense of 10 points. If I told you that before the game, would you think, okay, we're coming out with this one?
Yeah. I think for us, the things that we felt like we needed to do to win the football game, again, I feel very confident that we're there. And again, I felt like, we did some of that last week, and, we did some of that the week before. And so that's why from our end of it, you look at it, obviously it's frustrating. And, I told our kids in life, man, winners do lose, but losers hide. I'm not hiding from it. I don't think any of us are hiding from it. We got a great staff. We feel like we've got a really good football team, and we're not miles away. We're inches away. And, I think that's the hard thing when you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds or anybody in life. You get right there, and, it's easy you didn't get the result that you wanted, and it's easy to bag it. And so, I think, again, this will be a great test to, the locker room, the leadership. But, as I said, what gives me great confidence in our football team is the play Anthony Johnson makes is maybe one of the greatest plays in the history of this program. You talk about, our fan base, unfortunately, tried to fry an 18-year-old kicker last week, and our 18-year-old kicker responded and went 3 for 3 tonight in a big-time situation. So, man, there's a lot of things we can sit here. We didn't win the football game. You can put as much of that on me. I sit in the offensive room, so if you guys want to complain about me put it on me. But the reality of it is, you know, I still see a lot of really great growth and great things happening on this team. You know, we're a couple inches away here or there that we're not making some of the plays that we need to make to win the game. And it's still a process. You know, it's a journey with this young team. And, you know, again, I believe in the players, and I believe in who we are, and I believe in what we're about.
I was just going to ask about Jace. You hit on it right there. But what was his week like? You know,
Yeah,
and
I'd say-
after he made his first one, I thought he was going to get hurt on the sidelines.
Yeah, you know, I
teammates
just,
were mobbing him.
yeah, because I think, man, our teammates, you're finally at a program where now you've been here 7 years, and the program stood up for them, man, are some of our best players. There had to be 20 former players that called and asked for Jace's phone number last week. You know, I mean, that's what you hope to build. I think what we have is fortunate, and, you know, I thought, you know, what was Jace's week? I would tell you it's what I've seen every week. Man, the kid came back to work, he went to work, and, you know, I think I said this on, I don't know, it was a radio show or on our press conference on Tuesday, like, man, the kid's a football player. You know, I think he's got some of that moxie. He's a kid that's done a lot of great things in his career already. So, you know, I couldn't be prouder of him, really proud of his response, but, yeah, I thought he had a great game today.
Is Reader okay, or what's?
Yeah, I think we'll find out. I don't think it's something that is globally significant, but again, we'll find out a little bit more as we get into tomorrow. Thank you. Jeez, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.